Wholesaling real estate is a perfect investment strategy for aspiring investors in North Carolina. Now, whether you're looking to make quick profits or lay the foundation for long-term wealth, wholesaling offers incredible opportunities across the entire state. And the process is simple. Find deeply discounted properties, secure them under contract, and sell that contract to another buyer, typically a real estate investor, for a higher price. In this video, I'm going to give you a detailed overview of how to wholesale real estate in North Carolina. We'll cover each necessary step in detail, the legal considerations unique to North Carolina, insider tips on the market, strategies for success, and all the resources you need to start wholesaling today. And before we dive in, don't forget to grab our state-by-state guide on wholesaling real estate that you can find linked in the description down below. So, what is wholesaling real estate? Wholesaling real estate is a strategy where an investor secures the rights to purchase a property and then sells those rights to another buyer for a profit. This approach is commonly called the assignment of contract strategy. And here's how it works. Imagine you find a property worth $350,000 and you negotiate a purchase agreement with the seller for $330,000. Now, instead of buying the property yourself, you simply get it under contract and then assign those contract rights to another buyer for a fee, let's say $10,000. And now the new buyer pays the seller $330,000, which is the amount you put it under contract for, and you receive a $10,000 assignment fee. Now the seller gets the price they want, you get your assignment fee, and the new buyer gets a project with a solid profit margin they're excited to work with, and everyone wins. And in a nutshell, that's how wholesaling real estate works in North Carolina. And we know for a fact it works. Just look at Karen, one of our students based in Charlotte. Within 2 months of joining our Ultimate Investor program, Karen partnered with another investor and wholesaled her very first house, netting a $10,000 profit on the deal. But here's the part that's really exciting. Karen didn't spend 2 months working on this one deal. In total, she invested about 4 hours of her time and walked away with $5,000 for herself because she split the $10,000 wholesale fee with one of her partners. And what's great about Karen's story is that she had zero prior experience in wholesaling and was able to do this while balancing a full-time job. And with the proven strategies from our programs, and then also in this video today, you're gonna see how she was able to take her first step and get into real estate. And Karen's success is proof that's possible if you want to get started wholesaling real estate in North Carolina, that you can do this regardless of your background or your schedule. So now let's dive into how to wholesale real estate in North Carolina step by step. Step number 1 is picking your real estate market. Now, a lot of people who want to get started in wholesaling real estate think that they want to be virtually wholesaling in any market across the country or 5 states over. And while that's possible, it's not what we really recommend. What we recommend is starting in your local market. For example, if you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, just start there. Being local gives you a huge advantage because you get to know the neighborhoods or you know them already. You're able to drive to the properties. You're able to meet with real estate agents when needed. And understanding your local market helps you identify areas with strong growth, neighborhoods with high rental demands, or regions with new developments. And this firsthand insight helps you find better deals and avoid properties that might be tougher to sell. So we recommend picking your market first and starting in whatever city or county you're already in and familiar with. Now, step number 2 is finding 3 to 5 reliable cash buyers to wholesale your deals to. Cash buyers are usually real estate investors and often fix and flippers who purchase multiple properties every single month and are always on the lookout for good deals from wholesalers. And we recommend connecting with these cash buyers early on so you can understand exactly what types of properties they're interested in and which areas they prefer to invest in. For example, some cash buyers may only exclusively focus on properties in Durham, while others prefer opportunities in Asheville or Greensboro. And by building relationships with active cash buyers in your local market, you'll not only increase your chances of success, but also position yourself to negotiate higher wholesale fees. So how do we go about finding cash buyers in North Carolina? Well, one effective method is what we call the Google Ninja trick. So let's say you're based in Raleigh and want to find cash buyers in that area. What you need to do is go to Google and type in "Sell My House Fast, Raleigh, North Carolina." Now in the search results, you'll find real estate investors who've optimized their websites to rank for these specific keywords. And these are likely active cash buyers eager to connect with motivated sellers. And these cash buyers are constantly searching for motivated sellers who need to sell quickly. So when we approach this process, we act as if we're motivated sellers ourselves. And by doing this, you're able to quickly and easily find real cash buyers online. The best part is this strategy doesn't take hours, and more often than not, you can locate cash buyers in North Carolina within just a few minutes. Now, another great way to find cash buyers in North Carolina is by using Craigslist. So just go to Craigslist.org and select your city, Winston-Salem, for example, and type in sell my house fast for cash or buy my house. And what you'll start to see are ads from cash buyers who are actively looking for sellers. Now, what you want to do is browse these ads to collect the emails and phone numbers of the cash buyers in your area who are interested in buying more properties in your wholesale deals. And now you can begin to build your network of cash buyers, which is going to be invaluable for you as a wholesaler. Now, keep in mind, these cash buyers are actively searching for deals, so they'll likely be open to working with you and becoming a part of your network. So be sure to start building these relationships now, even if it's just for future opportunities. Networking with the right cash buyers early on can set you up for long-term success. Now, once you've lined up a few quality cash buyers local in your area, it's time to move on to the next step. And step number 3 is finding deals on the MLS. The MLS, or the Multiple Listing Service, is a database of all available listings in your area, and it's an incredible tool for finding properties that you can wholesale all across North Carolina. And I'll cover a couple strategies to help you spot potential wholesale deals using the MLS. First, there's what we call the Day Zero strategy. With this method, you look for new listings that have hit the market within the last 24 hours. So let's say there are 60 new listings. You then narrow it down to focus on only the distressed properties. So out of those 60 new listings, there might be 8 to 12 of them that fit this criteria. And these are the homes you want to prioritize. And we love this strategy because these properties that are newly listed and need to sell quickly, when they're distressed, well, they need an all-cash offer, which gives us wholesalers a big advantage. And being among the first to act on these listings greatly increases your chances of getting the property under contract before other investors even know it exists. And if you can be the first one to the punch, the first one to contact that listing agent, you might just be able to secure that wholesale deal and get it under contract. Now, over the years, we've been able to wholesale dozens and dozens of properties using this exact strategy, simply being the first to call and presenting an offer that the agent and the seller liked. Now, another excellent MLS strategy is targeting old listings. These are properties that have been sitting on the market for more than 90 days. Since these properties have not sold for a long time, sellers are often more open to negotiating, and it can make this a fantastic opportunity when wholesaling in North Carolina. So for example, you might find a distressed property on the MLS in Charlotte listed at $300,000, but hasn't moved for 3 months. Now over time, and we see this all the time, the seller might be willing to lower their price to $260,000 due to their motivation now being increased because they haven't got the offer that they wanted yet, and because their personal circumstances may have gotten worse. So there might have been a legal issue that was going on with the property, and that could have been the reason why it didn't sell. There could have been a divorce that needed to be finalized, and now the seller may be ready to strike a deal. So what this strategy really allows you to do, it allows you to connect with motivated sellers who are more likely to agree to favorable terms, because the longer the project, the longer the house stays on the market, then the more motivation can arise. So focus on those old listings, dig into the underlying issues, and see if you can step in as that problem solver. Because when you can help the seller find a way forward and you can provide a solution, you dramatically improve your chances of getting that property under contract and being able to wholesale it. Now, step number 4 is reaching out to the real estate agents who represent the properties you've identified on the MLS. So now it's time to call the real estate agent handling the property. And one of the great advantages of using the MLS is that it typically provides the agent's contact information, such as their phone number and email, which makes it very simple to get in touch. Now, when you speak with the agent, your main goal is to confirm whether the property is truly distressed and suitable for a real estate investor. And keep in mind, we want to focus on properties that need repairs and updating, and where the seller is motivated to sell quickly due to their circumstances. And a lot of the times, the property description won't explicitly mention that the seller is in a distressed situation. However, this kind of information often comes to light during a conversation, a phone conversation with the real estate agent. And this is why it's so important in real estate and in wholesaling real estate to pick up the phone and make a call and start asking the right questions. And don't hesitate to dig into the details of the property. That's our goal. We want to understand the seller's motivation and the property's condition, and we want to see if we can move forward with this property or not. And during this call, you want to gather as much information as possible. So we need to understand, what kind of renovations does the property need? Are there any standout features that can make this property more appealing than other properties? And what does the agent believe this property will sell for in its best possible condition? Now, we called this initial conversation the discovery call because we're uncovering everything we need to know about this particular deal. Now, once we have all the key details from this call, we're ready to move forward onto the next step, which is analyzing the deal. So now with step 5, let's run the numbers and analyze the property. And this is where we're going to determine if the property has potential to be a profitable wholesale in North Carolina. What we first need to do is calculate the ARV, which is the after repair value. And this is the estimated market value of the property once it's been fully repaired and upgraded. Next, we're going to estimate the repair cost, which is a ballpark figure of what it will take to renovate the property up to that ARV. And then we're going to set our wholesale fee. Now, a common target that we love to aim for is $10,000, which we believe is a fair amount for the work of finding, analyzing, and assigning a deal. Now, sometimes you're going to earn more than $10,000, sometimes you're going to earn less than $10,000, but it's a solid starting point for any wholesaler in North Carolina. And finally, we're going to determine the purchase price, which is the offer price you'll make to the seller to get the property under contract. Now, a popular formula to calculate the maximum allowable offer, which is the highest price you can offer while still leaving room for a profit for a cash buyer, is to multiply the ARV by 70%, then minus your repair costs, and then minus your wholesale fee. So for example, let's say the ARV of the property is $300,000. Start by multiplying that by 70%, which then gives you $210,000. Next, subtract the estimated repair cost, and let's say they come out to $25,000. That brings you down to $185,000. From there, we subtract our desired wholesale fee, let's say $10,000, leaving you with $175,000 as your maximum allowable offer. So now if you can secure the property under contract at $175,000, you'll have a strong chance of wholesaling it to a cash buyer and making a $10,000 wholesale fee. So this formula is a quick rule of thumb, but if you want to be even more competitive, you might consider using 80% of the ARV rather than 70%. Now what this does is it allows you to offer a slightly higher price and can give you an edge over the competition and other investors while still leaving room for a big enough profit for a cash buyer. Now for our companies, for every wholesale and flip deal we do, we love to use our own deal calculator. If you want to give this a try, head to realestateskills.com/calculator, where you can plug in your numbers and analyze all your wholesale deals down to the T. And we love using our deal calculator because it allows us to get our numbers down to the exact cent. So we're not using any rough formulas. And so we don't use, as our company, we don't use an MAO formula. We use our deal calculator to wholesale every single deal. So I recommend grabbing it. Now, once you've analyzed the deal, it's time for step 6, which is submitting offers and negotiating. And this step is absolutely critical because you cannot get a deal under contract. You cannot wholesale a deal without submitting offers. So in this scenario, it's important to present yourself as someone who actually knows what they're doing. And sellers and agents need to feel confident that you're serious and knowledgeable and efficient to work with. And a sloppy or unprofessional offer can even ruin your chances before negotiations even begin. For example, when a seller needs to close in 14 days or less and you say, hey, let's close in 60 days, that won't appeal to motivated sellers that need to move quickly or their agents. Right? By bringing a longer time frame, it can send the wrong message and can make you appear very inexperienced or unreliable. So instead, you want your offer to demonstrate that you know what you're doing and that you're a serious investor who understands the process. And so a strong, clean offer, a professional offer, is going to include minimal contingencies, such as only a 7-day inspection time period contingency, and then a 14-day closing time frame. Now this approach, it's a standard approach, but will most likely show the agent and the seller that you know what you're doing and are able to help them out in this situation if they need to move quickly. And making a professional impression with your offers, it's not just about the terms, it's about showing that you're the kind of person who actually closes deals and gets deals done. This confidence and professionalism can set you apart from other buyers because a lot of people don't know what they're doing. Now keep in mind that most offers will also require an earnest money deposit, also known as an EMD, and this is a good faith deposit that demonstrates you're serious about the deal. Typically this is due within 72 hours of getting the property under contract and really can range anywhere from $500 to $10,000 depending on the area you're in North Carolina and the price point of the property. Now, often this deposit is refundable, but always check your contract to confirm, right? Whatever you agree to in the contract is what you agree to. It's the law of the land. And if you want to access our contracts for wholesaling real estate in North Carolina, you can download them at realestateskills.com/contracts. Now, with your offers, you always want to have this professionalism and you always want to include a proof of funds letter with every single offer that you send. The proof of funds letter is a document that proves you have the financial ability to purchase the property, which also helps your offer to be taken seriously. And you can obtain a proof of funds letter from hard money lenders or private money lenders. And having this document is absolutely essential if you want your offers to actually be accepted. And if you want to check out our guide on how to obtain a proof of funds, just go to realestateskills.com/proof, and I'll show you 2 simple ways to get a proof of funds pretty quickly. And now let's move on to step 7. And honestly, it's my favorite part, which is closing the deal. This is the final stage of the transaction where ownership officially transfers from the seller to the buyer, and you assign your contract rights to the buyer. This is also when you'll receive your wholesale fee for completing the deal and assigning the contract. Now, this closing process involves working closely with real estate attorneys in North Carolina and title and escrow companies to ensure all paperwork is complete and funds are properly transferred. These key players all play an important role, and they verify that everything is in place for a smooth transaction and handle the transfer of funds. Now, if you're just getting started, you might not know which real estate attorney to work with for closing deals in North Carolina. So in this case, it's a smart idea to ask the real estate agent for recommendations that you plan on working with. Agents often have a lot of connections, have closed with a lot of real estate attorneys, and have local attorneys who are experienced in these types of transactions. Now, once we handle all the paperwork, we handle the assignment, we close on the day of closing, and you get assigned your wholesale fee for, in this example, $10,000. And that's it. That's how we wholesale real estate in North Carolina. Now, a lot of people come to us asking, is wholesaling real estate legal in North Carolina? And the answer is yes. Wholesaling is legal in North Carolina as long as you follow state laws and regulations. Now, the key distinction to be aware of is to understand the difference between being a wholesaler and a real estate agent. Now, as a wholesaler, you're not selling the property itself. You're selling the contract rights to buy the property. In other words, you're transferring what's known as the equitable interest in the contract to the end buyer. Now, in North Carolina, you do not need a real estate license to wholesale because you're selling contract rights, and you're not acting as a real estate agent, and you're not selling an actual property. However, if you're going to represent another party in buying or selling a property, then you would need a real estate license. Now, additionally, when marketing your deals, you must be clear that you're selling a contract and not the property itself. And this because advertising the property without ownership or a real estate license can be considered unauthorized brokerage activity, which can result in penalties or fines from the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, also known as the NCREC. Now, by clearly understanding and respecting this distinction, you ensure you're operating within legal boundaries and staying compliant with North Carolina's real estate regulations. And there you have it. That's how we wholesale real estate in North Carolina. Now, if you're interested in learning not only how to wholesale, but to also fix and flip properties and buy rental properties to build long-term wealth, be sure to check out my free webinar at realestateskills.com/webinar. Now, in here, I'll cover how to find great deals in any market, proven strategies to invest with little to no money down, and then ways to generate both an active and passive income through real estate. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you know anyone interested in wholesaling real estate in North Carolina, please share this video with them. Also, don't forget to check out the wealth of resources linked in the description down below and over at realestateskills.com. Take care.